Hi again guys, and so we've got another Gran Turismo 6 sleeper spec tune for you today, and this time it's a requested build for the premium spec BMW M5 of the E60 shape. So I've gone for racing soft tyres on this one because usually we go for sport softs, but this time I just decided to go all in just to see the kind of difference that it can make with a sleeper spec tune. Now if you are new to this series, the basic principle is we take a vehicle and then we see how fast we can make it without doing any noticeable upgrades. So we don't increase the PP, we don't affect the power, we don't affect the weight. And in order to do this, you do of course need to avoid giving it an oil change technically. So the best way to do it is to buy a brand new car and work from there. Now I've got racing brakes of course. For the suspension we've got the ride height on 150 front and rear, springs on 625 and 975, the dampers and anti-roll to 4. We've got the camber on 0.5 on the front just to help keep the front end in line. Neutral toe, we'll come back to the gearbox in just a second. For the diff we've got the initial torque on 20, the acceleration on 30 and the braking on 20. We've left the power stock of course, and also the weight, and as far as the gearbox we've got an auto setting of 205, then for the individual gears 4.2, 2.9, 2150, 1675, 1350, 1125 and 975 with a final drive of 3.2. So that's overall for the sleeper spec tune. Now let's take it out to what is essentially the ultimate proving ground on Gran Turismo, the Nuremberg Ring, to see what difference it makes. Now, as with all of my sleeper spec tunes now basically, I will put in the description the stock and sleeper tuned lap times around the Nuremberg Ring just so that you can see the difference. But with this particular model, especially factoring in those racing tyres instead of the sport softs that we would usually be using, it makes a massive difference. Now the M5 isn't a slow car anyway. My stock lap with this car was just under 7 minutes and 39 seconds. With the sleeper spec build, it does it in 6 minutes and just under 59 seconds. So a difference of 40 seconds without affecting the power, weight or PP. That's a pretty massive difference, and in real terms, in terms of distance around the lap, that means that by the time you finish the lap in the sleeper spec tune, the stock tune is still pretty much somewhere around the straight at the end of the Nuremberg Ring when you're already at the finish line. So a pretty massive difference in practice. Now if you put it in an actual race, the PP is of course not as relevant as I would like it to be, but that's the nature of these builds. Unfortunately, whatever PP it sits at is whatever PP you have to work with. But there's no doubt that this makes a massive improvement to the M5's performance, and even if you don't fit the racing soft tyres, it's still an incredibly quick machine. The handling does require a little bit of care. It's a little bit of a tail happy car, and the front end can also be a little bit light around lower speed corners, but overall it's still a very good car and a very popular choice of super saloon for obvious reasons. Now within reason, this tune can also work roughly with the same level of result, basically, on the non-premium version. So if you want to do it to that car, you pretty much can. Just use virtually the same settings and adjust it as necessary. But if you do decide to use this sleeper spec build for your M5, obviously I hope you find it fun, and if you do race it, obviously I hope you find it competitive. And if you are new to the channel and would like to keep up with other tunes and builds like this, be sure to hit subscribe down below to see those as soon as they're released. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.